Welcome to Bible Reader Companion. We are continuing our studies in the book of Hebrews. This week we are looking at chapters 9 through 11, and we'll be taking our studies from there. Let's start this week off with some reading from chapter 9, beginning in verse 23. As usual, we are reading from the New King James Version. Hebrews 9, beginning in verse 23, New King James Version. Therefore it was necessary that the copies of the things in the heavens should be purified with these, but to the heavenly things themselves with better sacrifices than these. For Christ has not entered the holy places made with hands, which are copies of the true, but into heaven itself, now to appear in the presence of God for us, not that he should offer himself often, as the high priest enters the most holy place every year with the blood of another. He then would have had to suffer often since the foundation of the world. But now, once, at the end of the ages, he has appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself. And as it is appointed for men to die once, but after this the judgment, so Christ was offered once to bear the sins of many. To those who eagerly wait for him, he will appear a second time, apart from sin, for salvation. Several things we notice here. One is that the temple and the holy place that was in place as part of the temple and the tabernacle were never intended to be the final plan. It were merely a copy of the true plan, the true holy place, most holy place, that Christ would eventually enter. And it was merely a representation of the sacrifice that Christ would eventually offer. And so those who hold on to that are holding on to something that was never intended to be permanent. But the other thing that he says is that Christ only had to do this once. The Jews had to offer sacrifices, and they had to each year go through the ritual of offering the sacrifices, and the priest entering the most holy place on behalf of the people. Christ was able to do that once. Why? Because he offered not bulls and goats and animals. He offered himself. And he could only offer himself because he was sinless and perfect. And he did that once for all of mankind for all time. This is what makes Jesus better. It made him better than the old law. It makes him better than any other religious system that people may want to try to come up with. God himself came down in human form and sacrificed himself, perfect sacrifice for the sins of mankind. What a wonderful sacrifice we have that Jesus was willing to do this for us. Think on these things, and we hope you'll join us again tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook for more content like this.